That's what's up. Welcome everybody to the Daily Smoke, another edition once again. I'm your boy, Brother Ron.
Brother Los.
Brother Jam.
And your boy Blackhand.
And we are the Daily Smoke.
Daily Smoke.
It is good to be back in front of you guys again for another Monday. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man. So
What's
glad to be
happening?
back. Dude, okay. I saw this on the news this morning, and I didn't get a chance to dig into the details of it, but I said when I said I was going to bring it up on the show. Okay, if I say Hot Wheels, do you know who I'm talking about?
The governor.
Yeah, okay, Greg Abbott.
Cars.
So now, so you remember a while back when he was doing this mandatory searches at the border of all the 18-wheelers that
No,
were
I
going on?
don't. Talk to me.
Okay, so I want to say it was last month. He started as his border protection. He started enforcing these extra inspections of every truck
Okay.
that would come across the border.
Okay.
Now, before, of course, Border Patrol would do random checks, or if they suspected something, they'd check that truck, whatever. But he was forcing them to check every truck.
Okay.
So whereas one driver might make on a normal day, they said 4 or 5 trips back and forth across the border, transporting goods and things like that, they were stuck, ground down to 1 trip per day if they were lucky.
That's what they money.
Not only messing with their money, but messing with our prices.
Okay.
Because you're slowing down the import of goods.
Okay.
You got produce sitting at truck stops just waiting to be inspected, and it's sitting in the container in the back of the truck just going bad.
Okay.
So all that to say, he finally had to let it go because it was causing too much of a backlog, right? Then it came out end of last week over the weekend that turns out this fool was extorting Mexican governors for out of money, basically saying, "Hey, you want your goods to get through?
Boy, quit playing.
Give me some cash,
Boy,
and
quit playing.
I'll make sure your trucks get through."
Boy, quit
So
playing.
that's the latest investigation into that.
What?
Boy, I'm trying to tell you this, when I'm telling you we need to get this thing out of the so bad.
Oh my
I
God.
think though too, the Border Patrol, they're so worried about them trucks.
Hey George.
Motherfuckers sneaking in cars like crazy.
Exactly.
What?
You know, 'cause we ain't got time to search these cars too. I gotta check these damn trucks.
They
You know?
understaffed as it is, and I get that. But at the same time, dude, that whole thing was unnecessary. They want to, if I remember the figure that I heard right, they say him doing that at the border just for the week or two that he was doing it, it wound up costing us like $9 million. Like,
What?
yeah, and that's taxpayer money that's just gone.
That's crazy.
Not to
That's
mention
crazy.
because of the delays that made supply chains shorter,
Yes.
which of course increases prices at the stores. Whenever
Yes.
any product that you buy that was getting brought over from Mexico, the price just went up because he slowed it down at the border.
So he had a deal with him.
The money was going to him,
That's what they're investigating.
not to the state.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
how
what
you
they're
funneled that.
investigating.
Yeah, let me
Even
see
if
how
it's
you
to the
funneled
state,
that.
though, look what you did. Man. Of course, America would be like, fuck. But come on, man, you're extorting another country to bring in their goods, and in the meantime, we're over here paying goddamn $40 for a goddamn banana. Fuck
Right.
all that.
That's the bullshit there. Because, man, this shit, man, do you know? Okay, I did my grocery shopping last week. I couldn't even buy dog food.
What?
Like, the stores are out.
Of dog food?
Like, literally, if you...
Cat food. Amy was having trouble getting. We had to order it because
Cat
you go
food?
Yes.
gone.
Like,
Cat-
literally, you check the shelves, there's none. You might have 1 or 2 brands, and they only got the tiny bags,
Right.
like the 5-pound bags. All the big bags of dog food, gone.
Yeah, they can't get them.
Shelves is empty.
They don't have workers.
If my dogs, Pugs, and Toby are watching this, fried chicken bones on the way, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, my
On the
brother?
way.
Thank you so
On
much
the
for
way.
watching the girls. I'm glad
On
you
the
enjoyed
way.
it. Now you know what it's gonna feel like when he brings your grandkids.
Oh man, oh my God!
You gotta
You think
take-
my kids gonna be bad, man? I'm gonna have kids. I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna have kids one
They gonna
day.
be
I ain't gonna front. I don't know if they're gonna be. I don't know if she's gonna be or not. But I'm gonna have kids one day. Yeah. Which brings us to the topic of discussion tonight. We're gonna talk about older parents, new tricks, but really we're gonna discuss. Oh man, Brother Lavelle watching. That's what's up, Brother Lavelle. Thank you so much, man. We're gonna discuss tonight. Parenting when you're younger versus parenting when you're older. Now, I don't have any experience in this, but these two brothers do. I can't wait till we get to that subject matter and talk about it. So I got a wealth of questions for you all both. I really mean that. So and I admire both of you on every level. Y'all my heroes. I really mean that. That's from the heart. So, but until then, let's talk about this dog food. So what now?
Before we get into that, Lavelle was right about all the little stores had to raise their prices too. So no matter where you go, everything's expensive.
So if Walmart had to jack their prices up, and they're the biggest, thing out there, then imagine the little mom and pop shops.
Well, nigga, we bougie. We go to PetSmart.
And even they had to go up on stuff because let's get it real. If the supply and demand, if the demand is low, the price gonna go high.
Right.
That's really what it is.
Oh my god.
My goodness, man. I literally sat there and went through every possible brand of dog food the other day that I could think of, and they didn't have not a one of it. The only thing that I could do was order it and have to wait for it to be delivered.
That's what Amy did. She got a big old bag of cat food and a bunch of cans because when she go to the store, they barely had any.
What about the rabbits? Rabbit food?
The rabbit food, I think that she always ordered anyway. So
okay, cool. All they need is hay, That's what's up.
Right, some hay. Go outside and try some of that shit out there.
Cut some grass, let it lay out in the sun for a day or two, you got rabbit food.
You know what I mean? We'll find that, man.
Right. Tell my gardener, yo, man, just leave all that shit right there. You ain't got to take it with you today.
So that's what happened, huh, John, man?
When I'm trying to tell you, this man, he's really unfit for office.
Okay.
There's no ifs, ands, or maybes about it. We're not even. Let's not get into the whole thing with the freeze the other, couple years ago. That in and of itself was a nightmare. Then that had happened, and then they found out that he was making money off of that because he was telling the. Remember how they was talking about how people got them like $9,000 bills and stuff?
I remember that.
Okay. He was telling the ERCOT, I think is what they call. He was telling ERCOT to keep the prices high.
Really?
Yes.
So it wasn't the market. He put that in place.
The market
reinforced.
The market put it up, but when they could have brought it down, he was like, no, keep it up.
Wow.
Maybe that's it. He's trying to get as much as he can because he knows he's about to get the fuck on.
I don't know, man, because now...
No, we're buffering. We're buffering. We're buffering.
But the only thing that the only candidate that I know of that's running against him that has even a slight hope of winning is weak.
Really?
Beto O'Rourke.
That Beto dude, that's right. He is.
You know who Beto reminds me of?
He is running for that.
He really reminds me of a new age Kennedy.
That's what he wants to be.
Right.
That's I don't know if they're manufacturing that.
Yes.
Or if he's trying to be that or whatever, and that's just what it is. That's really what he reminds me of.
I think Beto O'Rourke, because I kind of followed his career a little bit when he first ran. He was running against Ted Cruz.
Okay, bro.
And
Theodore Cross, you mean?
Yeah, Theodore Cross.
No Spanish names around his ass.
So basically, he came out as a real strong progressive in the beginning. He was like, "Oh, I'm for universal health care. I'm for this. I'm for that. I'm for gun rights and all of not gun rights, but gun control and all of this kind of stuff."
Okay.
But then he started taking that corporate money.
Okay.
The DNC got a hold of him and they put their thumbs in him and basically was like, "Okay, here's what we need you to do to get this money." And he started changing his positions on things. Whereas before you had a populist groundswell that was propelling you, that made you a national name. Because people was like, "Oh wait, this guy came out of nowhere. He could possibly beat Ted Cruz." Then all of a sudden you start changing your positions. The people didn't give a fuck about you no more at that point. The people who was backing you, the people who was really putting their hopes behind you, started losing interest, and you lost that race.
Right.
Now you coming back and you trying to run up against this governor because you know everybody hates him, everybody disrespects him, don't nobody trust him. Even Republicans don't trust him. Now you're looking at it like, "Oh well, this will be an easy win for me." But it's not, because you don't stand for anything that anybody wants to vote for. We already did that with Biden. We already put in a candidate just because he was the lesser of two evils. We're not going to do that bullshit again.
Hey, man, I had a conversation. I'm going to just throw out some small accolades because this individual wants to remain anonymous.
Okay.
So I will not betray them on no level. This is an individual that was with JSOC He's highly decorated. He has a lot of accolades from a lot of different events around the world.
Okay.
This individual knows their stuff.
Okay.
I'm bringing this up because you said gun control. I asked this individual, and so that they know that I'm talking about them, I'm going to call them Big. That's the word, and they'll know it, okay?
Okay.
All right. I asked Big a question, man. This is an individual that's like, we talk about certain things in the military, and Bud's training for Navy SEAL, that's a cakewalk. That's the type of individual you're dealing with, okay? Just for a frame of reference. All right. I asked him. I say, Big, let me ask you a question, man. Why isn't there more gun violence, let's say in ammunition stores or gun stores or what have you? Because everyone has guns, you have access to it or whatever, and you got a gun right now, you can just turn. Why don't we see any of that? And the reason I'm asking that question, Big, because you brought up gun violence,
Right.
is because I remember my 5th week of training, we had small arms training.
Right.
I saw the same behavior. So he explained why that happened. He said, but Ron, here's the big question. Here's what I advocate in terms of gun control. You can have your HKs. You can have your ARs or your M16s. You can have your AKs, Russian and or Chinese. This is him talking. This is not me.
Right.
He said, hey, man, I have a problem with the NRA, but I'm all about Americans having guns.
Okay.
This is a highly decorated individual. He said, hey, man, this is what I need the government to do. And the issues we're looking at will go away overnight. What, Big? He said, hey, man, go from 7.62 to 5.56. I went, so you're saying everyone goes to NATO rounds? He says, because I know myself. He says, absolutely, Ron. And here's why. I remember, this is him talking. I remember in some article that I read that some dude that had an AK-47 with 7.62, someone broke into his house and he pulls his gun out and he starts shooting. He misses the individual that came into the house.
Right.
But what happened was his neighbor was an elderly individual and their grandchild or whatever. They got hit with the bullets that he shot. So you killed two or injured two individuals that was not involved in the situation.
At all, yeah.
But you missed the individual that it was intended for. I say, well, Big, I don't understand 7.62 to 5.56. He says, Ron, 7.62 is designed to go through walls. I've done 4 tours in Fallujah. You need 7.62 to deal with Fallujah type of situations.
Yeah.
You don't have that in Alabama and Texas or wherever you are. 5.56 is sufficient for home protection.
Right, I got you.
So
I
that
went,
won't go through
oh,
walls?
it won't do that kind of damage
go all the way
because
through,
the
keep
number of
going to the
yards
baby.
that the bullet's maximum
Okay.
impact
That makes
is a lot shorter.
Okay.
That made a lot of sense to me. He said, Ron, so you don't have to get rid of the automatic weapons, just decrease the millimeters of the bullets.
Right.
So they don't need 7.62. If you're 7.62, you're in incursion. You're in Ukraine right now.
Right.
You're in Fallujah.
You're dealing in
You
real
understand? You're in
military
Afghanistan.
situations,
That's what you need 7.62 for.
Right.
But 5.56, keep your automatic weapons, keep your high capacity magazines, but they're still 5.56. So they're going to stop at a certain rate. I went, oh my
That
God.
makes sense.
But you see, and that's the thing. If we at least had politicians who was at least proposing even common sense shit like that,
Absolutely.
I'd be on board.
Absolutely.
I would be on board.
Absolutely.
But right now, we're not even getting anything done.
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
But that
Enough
was just
about-
my
enough about them
my
stupid
soul.
mugs.
No, and I understand, but
I had to throw that out there, man. I did. That was mind boggling.
But-
I was like, oh my God.
But in what you said makes perfect sense. I would agree with something like that if we had somebody who was at least proposing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, brothers.
But yeah, man. Okay. So let's get into this discussion about parenthood.
Yeah,
And
Los.
if I understand,
It's the Los episode.
right, for real, right? But look, you a pro on a level that I haven't gotten to yet.
Live now, turn it off.
But yeah, we're gonna get into this real quick and talk about it, man.
I'm just saying, it's the Los episode.
So basically, the question is it, or I shouldn't say is it better to, but what are the differences really is what we talk about between having kids at a younger age, which I can attest to, because I had my kids in my 20s.
Really?
Yeah, just about, yeah. My youngest was born right before my 30th birthday.
Really?
Yeah. And then, of course, Los had kids in his younger days. And
then later in my
then
older days.
Now you got what? Your youngest is what?
7, 8 and 7.
So,
Really?
Yeah, so I had one when I just turned 20 when I had my first daughter, 21 when I had my second daughter, and then I was like, what, 50 when I had my, not 50, 47, 40, 49 when I had my next daughter, and then, 50 when I had my second daughter. So
I'm listening.
it's two different, like I always say, like, when they get older, and maybe they're older people themselves, when they talk to my older daughters, there's two different dads that they're going to talk about.
So
Totally two different dads.
okay, so from your, because you had two up front,
Two up front.
when you were younger,
Mhm.
and now you got two now.
Late.
So in between the youngest of the first two and the oldest of the second two, how many years are we talking? How big of a gap?
23 years?
Wow.
Damn. I should have had grandkids, not make I made my own grandkids. So like my first daughter, I didn't meet her till she was 16 years old. I knew that I could have had a daughter, but for some reason I wasn't sure, I had to find her. So I did find her.
Yeah.
And I had the one daughter that I always thought, this is my daughter. I had her, she got older. It's funny because she at 13, her mother had a kid. So there's a 13-year gap between her and her sister, her first sister. And then there's a 3-year gap between my first little one. So, and then like I said,
Talk to him, please.
I apologize for the drop frames. Yeah, we having some internet connections a little bit, the dropping frames. So just please bear with us. Come on, I'm trying to fix the problem over here.
Is it the internet or?
No, I already know.
no, it could be how you're sending frames out. We have it at 60, and it may be too much because it's doing that. We'd have to drop it to 30, but you can't stop the
Do
show
that in the
without
middle
30.
of a-
You
yeah.
can't do it. You can't change the settings in the middle of it.
Okay,
And
we know
so
next
so
time.
that's the one thing that we're probably sure why that's doing that. There can't be anything else. If that's not it, then it's something else.
Okay, no problem.
That's part of it. I mean, it seems to be moving along. We just got to somehow. Now it could be a problem with internet because this morning they did something. My internet was gone all
I've been
morning.
having
They
problems at
enhanced
home
it.
with internet.
Well, they enhanced it somehow today. It only went like 2 hours, although they said it was gonna last all day. So that could be a part of it, but who knows?
So the same dude Big I was talking about earlier, he said, hey man, y'all gotta get rid of that McDonald's connection. You know what I mean? Like you ain't funny.
right. That's
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
man.
it's showing us ended.
Oh really? We're ended?
Oh no.
No, the live. It's
No,
good
it's still
for-
saying live.
It just
Okay,
stops
cool,
and it
cool,
keeps
cool.
on.
Cool.
It keeps-
Okay.
We're now at 20% drops. So
We do apologize for any type of drop frames or buffering that you may be experiencing right now. Bob, if you can please type that to them, that'll help as well.
Maybe just let 'em
but
know.
please understand,
We'll have that taken care of next time.
and please understand that this is just one of the risks that you run with doing a live show.
I know.
Right.
This is why most podcasts are pre-recorded.
Right.
So they don't want to have to deal with issues like this. But we much rather prefer to talk to y'all live. That way we can have some actual interactions with
Absolutely,
you.
right.
We don't want y'all to be stuck dealing with comments and having to send us emails and all of that. We like to be able to interact with y'all as we do this show. So
Absolutely.
we're going to stick with this unless we just finally get to a point where it's just untenable for us to keep doing this. But we enjoy
Right.
we enjoy doing a live show with
I'm
y'all.
not sure how many people are on right now, but if you are,
Untenable.
untenable. That's what we do now.
Here you go.
But continuing with the conversation, like I said, my daughters will have a story about two different dads that they experienced, My older daughter, I didn't meet her till she was 16, so that was a whole different experience.
Yeah.
My second daughter, I was a single dad at the time, so I dealt with her a certain way and dealing with that. Then I get with Amy, and now I have two more daughters, but I also have Amy's word that plays in play.
Right.
With
Yeah,
my
part
one
of
daughter,
that.
it was just me. So she,
Yeah.
I mean, when she would beat her mom, it was two different things. She knew when she was with me, you know, hey, we got to deal with what we got. I don't have a lot of money, but hey, we have dinner together all the time. I help you with your homework. We do lots of things together.
That's what's up.
Unlike when she was with her mom, you know, her mom would buy her whatever the fuck she want just to keep her happy, and they had a real bad problem dealing
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. She'd be with me, straight A student. She'd go with her mom, F's and D's. But her mom never saw the problem.
Right.
You don't see a problem here. Like when she's here, they're telling me that I should put her in these all-girl private schools for intelligent girls, but then she goes with you and you're calling me saying, hey, your daughter's getting F's and D's. That's not my problem. She don't do that when she's with me, so that's your problem. You know, so that's how I dealt with her. And then as years went on, now I got two little ones, and I hope that it was going to be the same, you know, because I never had to discipline Diamond. She would listen to what I had to say to her. You know, she enjoyed that fact that I helped her with her homework. We had dinner together every night. I was always there. These now got a mom to deal with too. So I might say something, they go check with mom. You know, mom changes it, or the vice versa. Mom says something, they come back to me, and I may change it, but only because, oh wait, y'all didn't tell me your mom said no already.
Right.
So it's too late now. But yeah, it'll be interesting that I probably won't be around when they have that. But when they do sit around and talk about me, two are going to be like, that's not the same dad I had.
That's interesting you
But-
say that,
But,
Lois.
you know, I was 20 years old at the time. For me, when she was born, I only knew her at the time. You know, my thought was, oh, damn, you know, it's not about me anymore. I got to take care. I have to make sure that this thing outlives me, whatever I got to do.
That's interesting you say that, because one of the things, again, you know, like there are questions that I have for both of you, but it's interesting you say that, because what I learned in my research was that older parents tend to live longer,
Well, I hope so.
and their children tend to live longer.
Really? No, that's
Absolutely, absolutely. And the logic is that if the older parent is in a, I hate to use this term, but it's very appropriate, but it is a biased term. If the older parent is genetically fit,
I'm gonna have to call with them because
It's getting worse.
it's getting
It's
worse.
getting worse.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to drop these frames.
Okay, so we're gonna stop everyone, and
You
then
can't
we'll
do
be back.
settings at all, right? They won't let you
I
go.
cannot drop the frame.
Okay, we'll restart. No
Okay,
problem. We'll
so
restart.
yeah, hang with us. We're gonna come back. We're gonna see if that is the problem. We should fix it. If not, it's something totally different out of our hands then. But right now, that has to be the problem.
But we're gonna give it a try and get it right for y'all. So just stay
So-
with us. We'll come right back.
When you see the new link, go to that instead. Go ahead and cut it, Bob.